and build on all the vast and creative possibilities of America. This is a task for a confident people, which is what we have been throughout our history and what we still are in our deepest character. I believe in our future.
Thank you, Vice President Gore. As your visit here today is an historic event, your words will live in our memories long beyond this day and will be an inspiration to us. Please stand and join me now as we sing Fair Harvard. The words are in your program.
It was an interesting talk of describing life as a fight between a natural tendency toward cynicism on one hand and the corresponding tendency toward faith in the other, both of which can become self-fulfilling prophecies, as he said, in the life of a people, individuals, and a nation. He started his talk by noting the enormous sacrifice of those people who were celebrating their 25th reunion at the time of his graduation. That would have been the class of 1944, which of course he noted had only 11 graduates attending the commencement ceremonies because so many had left to fight. And
that was interesting, Tom, and because the 25th reunion people who are right down here in front of us just almost rose as one to applaud them.
Well, it was an interesting phenomenon because it started with the people on the platform, then the 25th reunion stood up, and then slowly the entire gathering stood up to applaud as sort of that bridging exercise of the class of 69 recognizing publicly, perhaps in a ritualistic way for the first time, the extraordinary achievements and sacrifice of the class of 44. It's been an interesting period now, this month of June, as we've lived through the D-Day commemorations, the president's trip to Paris, to France, to Europe, and now, perhaps in ways that are more graphic and dramatic here, a reconciliation of an age and generation gap that has been very painful in this society.
Thank you, alumni, friends, and guests, for joining in the 1994 meeting of the Harvard Alumni Association. I adjourn this meeting until June 8th, 1995.
And so with the closing gavel, it brings to an end another meeting of the Harvard Alumni Association. And a very interesting combination of talks together. The president talking about why do we come here to these commencements, why are these rituals important, and citing the fundamental core reason being freedom, the freedom of expression and the freedom of thought, which universities represent, a real sanctuary in the world today. And then Al Gore talking about the struggle in society today, the fight between cynicism on one hand and hope and faith on the other, and gave people a lot to think about, I think. Well, with the tolling of the bells in the background, we are, I guess, just about ready to bid you a fond farewell for yet another year. But we'll see you back here on June 8th of 1995. And until then, for Ed Carey, this is Tom Reardon wishing you a very pleasant good afternoon from Harvard Yard.